12 were fire calls, and then we only had one chicken gut spill call this month. So we've been really fortunate with the hot weather that we hadn't had to go out and do that just one time. Membership totals. Right now we have 13 members, one auxiliary member, 2 probationary firefighters for a total of 16. That gives us a certified firefighter count of 6, and then we have a total of 7 EMTs, paramedics on the department, and then the rest have either been CPR, first aid, or first responder trained. Like I did last month, I kind of someone had some questions about why we do mutual aid. Actually, it was one of our firefighters, and so I felt like I better let you guys know how other communities benefit from our mutual aid program, but we also benefit from it. So we gave 5 mutual aid, or we responded to 5 mutual aid calls in neighboring towns that we have agreements with, and then you can see that we received some mutual aid from Russellville and Atkins. Atkins was a big help on a structure fire that we had on June 12th. For training updates, I just completed my 40 hours of my annual 40 hours of compliance officer and privacy officer training. That's something that I've had to have as an EMS officer for many years now. The training is good, and it's something that I get to pass. Privacy is a big deal. Even though we don't bill for our services, we still have to maintain a high standard of privacy for the people that we encounter. One firefighter is currently enrolled in an ADH EMT program that's being hosted by the Conway Fire Department. We have one other firefighter that is going to attend the fall semester at UACC in Morrilton. And then Stephen Judkins, who's also a member of our fire department, just graduated fire standards in Camden on Friday. I went down to his graduation, and since we met in the last 5 weeks, we've had 340 hours of training between our members, and that includes my training and the EMT training that's going on. Some of the updates, issues, and concerns. Our new tanker, 307, on that fire that we had on the 12th of June, we noticed that we were having some oil pressure issues, and I contacted the manufacturer. It was under warranty. We were instructed not to drive it, not to do anything with it, so it was towed to Kenworth in Little Rock, and it's currently undergoing repairs that are covered by the manufacturer warranty. The only thing that will be on hook is for the tow truck that had to take it to Little Rock. Engine 303, which is at Station 2, it's had a really difficult electrical gremlin in it that has taken someone a lot of time to chase down. We had to pay someone to come in, and they were, after many hours of it being out of service at his shop, he was able to find it. I should be getting the bill on that tonight. That'll be about $600. And then also, I've been working on the bid process, or receiving quotes or bids from 3 manufacturers for firefighter structural turnout gear. And then also, I had 3 companies come look at the roof, but only 2 submitted a quote. So I also have those attached too, so we are ready to move forward to that. And then on the back side of my update, I've just got the expenses for the last 5 weeks since our last meeting.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Public Works, John.
Since the last council meeting, we formed 3 shutoffs for non-payment with 2 remaining on. 12 work orders, 10 locates. We replaced the fire hydrant on West Cedar Street, replaced the fire hydrant at the elementary school. We installed a new fire hydrant for the mini storage expansion on Pine Ridge Road. We replaced a culvert right here on River Road in front of the elementary building. We fixed a service line leak on Levi Place.
submitted a grant to the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program. I received notification, we did not receive it again. I sent an email back and asked, if they could provide us any feedback as to why we didn't get the grant. Is there something we could do differently to up our chances next year? And basically, and I can send you the email if you want it, but basically it's just that they only had enough to provide 35% of the request. They commended us on the work that we did do on the building and that we were working towards it. That seemed to work very much in our favor. From what she said, I had outlined in the grant, how we were going to continue to use the building and by building beside it. And she said that they felt like that would also fall within the easement requirements that we would have to sign over if we got a grant. But when it comes down to it, they just did not have enough money. So, at this point, we met the other night, and I haven't had a chance. I had talked to one of our local car clubs about maybe doing some activities down here a few months ago, and we talked at our last meeting, and I'm going to get with them and see if we can come up with a date and have a car show down here to try to raise some funds, maybe have a movie night. There's a photographer that does the car, does pictures as the cars come into the car shows, and I think it would be really neat to set him up to where he could take pictures of the cars in front of the grocery stores they come through, and then what happens is when people buy them, he gives you a percent, and then you'd have to, maybe get somebody to cook hamburgers and hot dogs or something. I don't know, just maybe help a little bit. I know we've already got some funding set aside for this year, $30,000. So maybe we can look at it and prioritize what we want to do on it next. But we've searched grants, we've looked, I've been trying the T-Mobile one, no luck. Of course, that one's nationwide. So if anyone else has some ideas, I think we'd talked about maybe bricks or something, a paver or something out there, we'll may just have to do it on our own.
Any questions?
What work have we done to the building?
We replaced that in the back,
Back
over
wall.
that back wall, because it was about 6 or 8 inches about to fall out on us.
The top of, where the ceiling is the back wall, it was like 6 inches out.
Yeah.
It's kind of bowed out, so we had to replace that way, make sure it didn't fall apart.
Yeah.
And, later this summer, we're gonna have the cap on top of the brick.
Yes.
Okay.
That'll help. The cap will help keep the moisture from getting down inside the
Down in
bricks.
The,
inside.
the engineers said it looks like the actual moisture's getting down in the brick from the top of the brick, not actually going into the store, but it's getting down in the brick, and that's what's popping the faces off the brick on the
Okay.
exterior.
And when you said 30,000 for this year, what's our total budget that we have in the savings for that? I know we did 30,000 last year, another 30 for this year.
This year was the first year for it.
Yeah. No, we had 30
No, we had
last year
30 to get a grant.
to get the grant. The grant didn't come through, so we spent the majority of it on that, and then we've got the money set aside to put the caps on it from
Yeah.
last year. So it's not showing up in the budget yet. It's transferred over to the Falls and Sinclair.
Right, yeah, for this year.
Yeah, but it is budgeted. Another 30.
So what have we spent?
We spent
13, I believe, for that.
13 or 14 for
And
that.
I think the cap's gonna be 11, I believe, 11,000. I think that's what the quote was.
All right.
I think there's 6,000 left right now
6,000 from
from the 30.
Which 30?
It roughly,
Last year's 30.
Yeah, 'cause some of
Okay.
that we used for the shirts and stuff, but I think we made most
We
of
made-
it back. There's a few dollars there, I'm saying, within $300-400.
So out of 60, we spent what?
We've spent the
What we've got allocated,
13 or 14. I have to go back and look it up on that back wall. We've got the 11 allocated for the cap. That leaves 36,000 total out of the 60.
Have y'all contacted Barrett and Associate
Yes.
about, is
Yes,
there
down here.
anything car show and like a big town fundraiser is a good idea. It can't hurt.
Yeah. Wait until it cools off a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Gotta get your answer, your questions answered.
Math didn't add up, but yes, it did.
No old business, new business. Chief Perry, which one do you wanna do first?
I guess we can start with gear if you want to.
Gear?
Yeah. So last meeting, I brought up the service life of our firefighting structural protective equipment, personal protective equipment. And the NFPA says that it should only be worn for a period of 10 years, and that's with it being properly taken care of, no sun exposure, kept inside, regularly cleaned every 6 months. You see where I'm going with this. So that's perfect condition, so 10 years. And our newest sets that we have were purchased 10 years ago. The service life will be going out around February or March of next year. So I was asking to be able to use around $50,000 of our fixed asset expense budget to go ahead and make a purchase of, depending on the price that we have there, around 16 to 17 sets of firefighter turnout gear. And when I say sets, that's just the coat, the pants, the suspenders, the gloves, and then the protective hood. It does not include the helmet or the gloves, or the boots. The boots and the helmets, they actually run around $350 a piece also. But we do have those, a lot of those have been replaced, but I will be taking a look at those next year, the ones that are going out, and we may have to start a replacement plan on those also. When I put together the quote, the quotes, there's 3, and I stapled them in order of what I prefer. And I say I prefer, I actually met with sales reps and seen examples. The second set, the Morning Pride set from Delta on page 2, that's currently what Russellville Fire is wearing. You'll notice that the first quote on page 1 and the second quote, not very much difference. The one thing I'll say about the NAPCO quote is the hood that he quoted is a much better quality hood. The pricing that he gave us is the same pricing that Fort Smith, Little Rock Fire, and Conway Fire Department currently has with them. Normally, the coat itself is right around $2,100. The pants are usually around $1,500. So getting their pricing has really been beneficial. And then one thing I'll say about that hood, the hood that he quoted is there's a big emphasis on firefighter cancer, and that's, we've got the extractor for the turnout gear to clean the gear with at Station 2. This is a lot of the cancer that firefighters are diagnosed with are secondary to exposure on the job, but they've kind of focused on the head and neck, and so they're going to this new particular type hood. It's not NFPA mandated now, but I feel like it will be in the next few years. But to give you an example, when I was on Memphis Fire, they decided they were going to get all 1,800 of us into a physical, and out of that physical, we came out with 10 firefighters that had thyroid cancer. 200 people are diagnosed, 2,000 people are diagnosed with thyroid cancer a year. So, like I said, they're kind of zeroing in on the gear itself. So all 3 sets are good sets. You'll see that the last one from Sidney's Martin is a little bit cheaper. That is your economy cheapest. You're not going to get turnout gear any cheaper moisture barrier. And the moisture barrier is what's inside, that's actually the protection, keeps you from getting burned with thermal layers of heat. But it also helps wick moisture and things like that away from your body. That also contributes to less burns. So I'm asking if we can get, 16, 17 sets, right, to outfit the members that we currently have.
Any questions?
Do we need to plan ahead and purchase more, or is that
Yeah,
gonna be plenty?
Like I said, next year I need to come, I need to work on this anyways. I need to put together a capital improvement plan for the department that includes any high ticket item, not just, turnouts, but, I think we'll find ourselves, if we could position ourselves to buy 2 or 3 sets a year instead of having to make a mass purchase, then that's always gonna keep us with enough sets of gear. Even if we had 20, 22 members, that'll keep us with having enough sets of gear that are within date. So yes, that is my plan, to have a process in place for next year to ensure that we don't get into this situation.
And we can swing the 50,000 with our current budget and,
Yes,
Be a problem.
so far, there's $100,000 in the fixed assets expenses, and we haven't used anything this year, so there's $100,000 in there.
is there anything else we need to get up to date other than our gear?
We're actually pretty good with equipment.
Okay.
I've just updated some chainsaws. I had to get a couple new chainsaws. Our apparatus, we're blessed to have what we have
Right.
as far as apparatus, especially with the new tanker. I think it was just a manufacturing hitch that something happened when they were putting that engine together, and what we call it early. So
You have warranty for a reason.
that's right. So right now, other than the roof, which is the next one, I can't think of any other big ticket items I'm gonna have to come and ask for. Outside of maybe AEDs or something like that we probably need to sit down and talk about moving forward.
So the NAFCO includes suspenders,
Yes.
but the Delta doesn't?
Delta, they actually all 3 do.
They're just not a separate line
They're
item?
they're just not a separate line item like NAFCO does. Because NAFCO, they sell a variety of suspenders.
Do we need to vote on this separately or together?
Need to be separate probably.
I got a question on the freight, is to be determined, and the others deleted, is there gonna, on the NAPCO,
They're all gonna have a freight charge.
are they?
Yeah, and on Simmons Martin, they have freight to be added, on the order, so. That's one thing, that's one of the, I guess that's the cost that I'm not sure of.
Will they not waive the freight if you order so much worth?
I don't think they will for the amount that we're gonna be.
Okay.
If you were ordering 100 sets, I'm sure they would.
I'll make a motion that we approve it and use your judgment over which way we need to go with it. Up to 50,000 for the fire department gear.
Second.
Just make sure we've got enough to cover the.
Do we need to bump that? Is there any idea on the freight, or do we need to make it bigger?
So I guess 50,000, that's probably
17
16,
sets.
17 sets, yeah.
17.
17 sets. That'd be fine. Now, that doesn't cover the freight, though.
Six to say that doesn't
That's
cover
just this cost.
Let me amend that and make it 50.
55, just.
Yeah,
55?
Taxes
Yeah.
and freight.
Let's make it 55 and let's roll with
That
it.
should be plenty to
Yeah.
cover the freight and everything.
Yeah.
You said you amended your motion
To 55.
55. Got a motion to approve the budget, or the fire department to spend up to 55,000 for NAFCO turnouts.
Second.
The roll call?
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
Karen Curtis,
Yes.
John Heffron,
Yes.
Jesse Young.
Yes.
Now, do we need to waive the competitive bidding on that?
It's something that we typically waive it, but is it being purchased through the state?
I don't know if that ain't state bid or nothing, is it?
Yeah.
No,
Go ahead and
it
do a
cannot be
motion to
through the
waive competitive bidding and we can hold minutes next month.
Entertain a motion to waive the competitive bidding for the turnout gear.
So moved.
Second.
They got a motion and a second. Do a roll call.
Amber Carter,
Yes.
Randall Blaylock,
Yes.
Steve Williamson,
Yes.
Karen Curtis.
Yes.
John Heffron,
Yes.
Jesse Young.
Yes.
Now, since we're not doing it until next month, on the waiving the bid, can he go ahead and start ordering because the
We'll
prices are
make
good
it-
for 30
We'll put a
days?
provision in to make it retroactive.
Okay.
If y'all are okay with that.
I just don't lose those prices.
Yeah.
That's the way everything's going right now.
Yeah, 'cause they're only good for 30 days.
Yep. Okay, next thing is the roof.
So the roof at Central Fire Station, I've been told is 44 years old, built in 1979, thereabout. According to Vernon, Vernon came and coached me up on it, though. He showed me every little nook and cranny where every
He's
wall
almost one
was.
up there, so he can probably
Yeah,
tell you
he-
everything.
So, but I did, I asked him, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving you bad information. He said that it was the original roof. I reached out to 3 different companies, 3 different salesmen came out. I got 2 quotes back. The other one never did send it back. And you can look at the scope of work. The scope of work is a little bit different. I met them up here. I went up there with them. I let them speak their foreign language to me about this and that. But what I did notice up there is that a lot of the screws, I guess what happened is the grommets that go with the screws, kind of like what you said at our last meeting. They had gotten bad. The washers, they started rusting out. Everything started rusting. And now the roof is basically brittle around where all the screws are. So, I toyed with, a couple people said you may be able to get up there and put some sort of sealant on it, but that's just a temporary fix. And with the way that thing sits out in the sun and the condition that it's in, I hate to have to do it, but I really think it's time to replace the entire roof. So the first one I put on top is probably I don't know, maybe you all can tell me. I think it's a little more, I think there's more work there that's being done than the second quote, according to the materials list and the labor. This one also includes, because we did look at the gutters and the downspouts. Some of those are in bad position, some of them need to be repaired, some of them just need to be replaced also. And I believe that's what Councilman Williamson kind of alluded to in the last meeting, that there's probably some gutters. And so expert did say, yes, that if we're gonna do it, we need to just do it all.
Now, what's the difference, Steve, in the galvalume and the
26.
26 inch?
Well,
Does it come with any
one
kind
said
of warranty?
29
Yeah, it has a
gauge.
3-year labor warranty.
They're
30-year
both
material.
3-year labor,
The 26.
30-year material.
Yeah. The 26 gauge, the other one didn't mention the gauge.
Oh.
That's typical our panels, the thickness. You can go 24, which would be better, but the cost is just a little higher.
Oh, I see that.
But there's 2 other
Good.
ways to fix this thing. And one's better than the other one, insulate that with 1.5 inches of foam, and then you put TPO, which is a membrane, about 3/16 thick, something like that,
Kind of a rubber,
rubber,
yeah.
no leaks. And I don't know what that cost would be, but, there's contractors out there that do that, and I can give you some names if you want.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I mean, this is not a, it's not a pressing issue,
Yeah.
it's more of an inconvenience with, we've got two good-sized sections that when it rains, you know, we have to move to one of the, well, the tanker, we have to kind of park it catty corner, that way we can set barrels up, to collect the water, because if we don't, it'll flood. And then we got somebody on barrel wash to come, you know, tip them over to get them out. But then we've got a spot on the very back corner. I don't know why, when you get on top of the roof, it didn't look as bad as the other spot, but when it rains, it pours into that side of the building. That's the newest section of the building. Maybe that's what it is where they tied it in, but it didn't look that bad up there, but there's a lot of water.
Is there anything that needs to be done with the existing insulation at the time of this?
You know, there's not a whole lot of insulation in that building.
Does this need to be addressed, or
Only 3 inches.
is it just?
3
a-
inches is, yeah,
When you pull if you pull the panel off, you're gonna pull some of that insulation with you, so you're ripping yourself off there too. That's another good reason to go with the retrofit. You don't, in case a rainstorm comes in and you're open, there goes a lot more, money to fix it.
well, I can, get back with them and look at the retro.
See if they've got that provision and they know what to do. And also, I would recommend another company to check with on the TPO and see, he's got 50 years of experience, so I would heavily rely on him.
Okay, I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Just something we need to address right now, or can it wait another month?
No,
or-
that's what I'm saying, it can, I mean, it's, like I said, it's an inconvenience, and I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot of rain for the
I
next
was gonna
couple
say,
of
fix
months.
to get dry for a little.
Yeah, so,
More
it's,
than likely.
it's just, it's,
Well, I think if you're having to move equipment for a leaking roof, it needs to be addressed.
well, it does, but it's, like I said, it's an inconvenience, it's not damaging anything.
Sure.
It's not getting on any sheetrock or anything, because it's, there's a couple spots inside where there is sheetrock, but that is from the air conditioner unit, probably several years ago. And we're gonna take care of that ourselves, so we're just not gonna do anything till we get the roof.
Okay.
Y'all wanna table this till next month, then let him get some,
I think so, yeah.
Steve, does the retrofit have the comparable warranty, the 30 years, you know?
All that is on top of the purlins, they put another
put another
membrane
one.
that's configured like our panel, and you slap a new roof on, so you get the same warranty on that roof panel.
Okay,
plus you get the extra
that's what
installation.
it is.
Huh?
Plus you get the extra installation.
That only comes on the TPO,
Oh,
not on the retro.
oh,
Yeah. Now, you can put it in there if you want to. You could. And little bit of insulation not gonna hurt anything.
I entertain a motion to table till next month.
Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, table the roof till next month. Roll call.
Pam Shar,
Yes.
Randall Blaylock.
Yes.
Sue Williamson,
Yes.
Karen Brothers. Yes. John Turner,
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes,
That's all we've got.
Thanks for your time.
thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Everybody's got enough action.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank y'all very much.
Well, that's short and sweet.
That's the shortest one in a while, isn't it?
I think it is.
Let's see.
It said it'd been short.